Big fight's a good one, so let's have it right now with Stephen Conroy, the former senator, and sadly apparently not going to Washington. But we'll get to that in a moment or two's time. He's just here to help, of course, all of that work he did during the election. And none other than the former Deputy Prime Minister, Nationals MP Barnaby Joyce, joining us from Rockhampton. So, Barnaby, I'll start with you. New Zealand has formally introduced a tax on burping and farting to cut down on methane. How long before Albo does it here?
It's coming. The IPCC reports both at Seoul and in Glasgow talked about this. And of course, you've got to realise, like, you want a zero emission target. You voted for a zero emission target 2050, zero emission target 2030. Now you're paying for it. Here comes the bill. As the price of food goes up in the paddock, you pay for it when you buy your groceries. See? You are going to be poorer. You're going to become poorer. You're going to pay more money to Woolworths, more money to Coles, more money to IGA and Audi because they've got a burping tax on cattle. And you think, oh, well, what's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what, that ain't going to change. Nothing out there is going to change. Weather's going to stay where it is. But you are going to be poorer. Now, it's happening in New Zealand and it'll be coming to Australia unless you stop it. So it's over to you because we voted in a Labor Green government. They believe in the 2030 target. They believe in the 2050 target. Methane emissions, apparently that's all going to instantaneously combust. But what is going to instantaneously combust between now and anything ever happening to that, because it won't, is your wallet. Your wallet is going to instantaneously combust. You're going to become poorer. So if you don't want to be poorer, fight against the changes that have forced up your fuel prices, fight against the changes that have forced up your power prices, and by God, haven't they gone through the roof? And now going to happen to your food prices. If you don't want to be poorer, stop voting for poor taxes, which is what you get when you get 2030 emission targets, 2050 emission targets, because you pay for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the passenger, treasurer was out there saying today, Stephen, that the inflation that's going to come as a result of these 35% increases in power prices might be a small problem, might be a small issue.
Well, look, you should always be concerned when, energy companies start telling you how much they want to put prices up by. But I've been watching closely what, firstly, Ed Husic, but also Jim Chalmers himself said today, where they talked about possible price caps for some of these energy providers. So I think it's getting to a stage where there's blatant profiteering going on, and it's time for the government to really put its foot down and not allow this sort of blatant profiteering. You look at the profits that these energy companies have made over the last 12 months, and you can see that somebody's getting ripped off, and it's the Australian consumer.